What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete Strategy. I am Pete. I am a top player in the game of Risk Global Domination. I have a daily release on YouTube, and I'm doing a weekday stream on Twitch for the winter. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along the ride with me. What we are doing today is we are doing our weekly wrap-up for the game of Risk Global Domination. This is the last weekly wrap-up for the year 2022. We have a lot to cover, and then we're going to move on to some Kill Pete Strategy Discord Q&A. We are going to be playing the Arco-inspired settings, not the Arco settings, but the Arco-inspired settings, classic fixed capitals. Expert bot, that's neutral. Nothing fancy, no fog, no blizzard, no alliance, no portals. 6-player. I'm in the 3rd position, and I'm going to cap off in Japan and take a card and pass for a whole heck of a long time and let my opponents hit each other. The Indonesia cap is really strong, so yellow will probably win this game, and I'll get that sweet, sweet 2nd place just by hanging out in Japan and not pissing anyone off. Okie dokie. So, I have a lot to cover. So let's start with, we had 3 tournament finals last week, the culmination of so much hard work. And we can start with the finals of the Chaos Tournament. Congratulations to all those who competed in the Chaos Tournament. We have our winner, Squeeze Tube, at 34 points. Chris, 14133, getting 2nd place at 32, and no surprise, Kilted at 30 points. Congratulations to our winners, and our finalists, One Shot, I Am Mamba, and Saber for 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. Thank you, Escape, for doing this for the community. I do love Escape the 4Z. He is a friend of mine. He's a very talented guy, and we're looking forward to seeing Chaos Season 2. Just let me know when it's going down, my friend. And I will happily do some promos on this show and the regular KPS channel promos as well. Chaos Tourney was so awesome. Did you enjoy it, Mal? I had a good time, yeah. The VC component was very interesting. I think the iterations we're going to be doing to VC tournaments in the future will have to either legislate or enforce culturally some sort of prohibition against points begging, because I think it's a bit shameful when the game devolves into a conversation that has nothing to do with playing a game of Risk, right? I think people should still be playing to win, despite the fact that they may not be eligible to move on. And we can talk more about that when VC tournaments become open again for signups. Our next tournament this season, we have the finals of the main server 1v1 tournament. And this was won by my friend Olive XC. Olive is a top grandmaster. This is his 3rd tournament win. And you don't have to take my word for it. Why don't we just look right at, and I do have permission from Olive, so why don't we just look right at Olive's reaction to.
So who wins the tournament? I'll let the real me take over. Wait, I'm attorney champ? What's going on? Frail won 6-3! Where's the scores? Oh my gosh, I won? I won? No way. Pulling up the event announcement, so I have to see this live.
He's very excited.
Here's the standings. Let's go!
He's very excited. Congratulations, all of XC, for winning the 1v1 tournament. Congrats to Frail Wave and Under the Gun for 2nd and 3rd, and General Bale coming in 4th place. Very, very snazzy. Not too shabby at all. Olive is the cutest. Yeah, if you don't know Olive is a 1v1 champion. Check him out on YouTube, Grandmaster Olive XC, and he's recently started streaming on Twitch as well. Happy to see Olive meeting with very, very much deserved success. Congratulations, my friend. And congrats to you, DG, to Frail, to General Bale. All you guys are champions. Okay. Our 3rd tournament that has wrapped up this season, and we have the man himself in chat. A true tournament champion, Marin Brambat, free-for-all world champion, and now Risk Legends champion as well. This is an epic turn. We see Marin have a perfect game in the finals of Risk Legends. So Marin has already defeated Cosmic Cowboy in a previous turn, and we're going to experience a sweep of the entire board. Marin eliminates Kilted. Kilted gets 5th place.
Only better because you failed to kill.
Kilted's not happy.
GG.
We see Marin set himself into position to eliminate Sneaks for his 5 cards. E.g. Sneaks, 2nd place last season, earning 4th place in the finals. Very impressive back-to-back finals by E.g. Sneaks. Marin now double sets. We see him eliminate Under the Gun. Under the Gun, last season's champion, so the defending champion of Legends, placing 3rd this season. And finally, with the kill on one shot, Marin Brambat takes the finals of Risk Legends Season 2. Congrats, Marin. Well done, sir. Very much deserved. Marin is a free-for-all main server world champion and a Risk Legends champion. Congrats, sir. I think we just move our stack in. Was that a 2? Yeah, I need a perfect roll to hit a 2. So we're just consolidating our troops. Filling on our capital. I finally found settings I can play that don't require very much of my mental energy. So I can do the recap. Yeah, the pathing wasn't great, man. You could have done better, but you know what? You don't need it when the cards go your way. So he will be back, I'm sure, next season, back and better than ever. And you'll love to see it. Congrats to our friend Marin Brambat, Risk Legends tournament champion. Okay, the next thing I would like to discuss is I did a community post on this topic, and we had a suggestion in the Risk Discord. So if you go to Risk Ideas and you scroll up a bit, let me find where Risk Ideas is. Did it get changed? Yes. All right, so if you scroll up to, the idea was posted on, am I missing it now? The idea was posted on the 15th of December. Check it out. In balanced Blitz, when you attack with more troops than the minimum amount required for a 100% win, you see 115 upvotes, you can lose slightly more troops on average. As is well known, this is unexpected behavior due to how Balanced Blitz algorithm tweaks the number of troops lost and left and can currently be prevented by slider blitzing. So this is a bit of a verbose way to describe the fact that when we are attacking large stacks into ones, you can lose 1, 2, 3, 4 troops. And this is an idiosyncrasy of the way that Balanced Blitz works. This is a flaw, in my opinion, in the way Balanced Blitz works, and it can be corrected for. And we found that the elegant solution is to modify the Blitz slider to default to, instead of 100% of stack, it defaults to 100% to take. And you'll see what I mean. So I'll show you right now as an example. So I'm gonna roll a 27 stack into a 1. Now, I only need 3 troops to get 100% win chance. But the default is 100% of the stack. Now, as I said, I risk losing more than 1 or 2 troops doing that roll. And if I do, that creates a unlikely probability, an extremely low probability outcome, right? So the way we solve for this that doesn't require SMG to do any additional coding is potentially we can ask the devs to, because they're showing that they're finally listening to us, we can ask the devs to default the slider to 100% to take. And then if you want to modify that, you can. But if the default was to roll a 1, all I had to do was max 3 instead of max of stack. If you guys like this idea, if you don't like losing extra troops, please upvote this suggestion on the Risk Discord, because the devs have shown their willingness to listen to the community. If we get enough upvotes, if we all agree that something could be improved upon, they will give us a shot to do so. All right, so there is my spiel on the Blitz slider. I hope I explained it. Does everyone in my chat understand the problem before I move on? Because I don't want there to be confusion. If there are questions on this, we can follow up. Panties understands. Yeah, okay, good. Good. Okay. The next, although I didn't hear it, the next thing I wanted to bring up is we have one day only. But if any of you listening are not premium, I think there's still a chance for you to get 50% off premium. So one of the things that I've been mulling over back and forth when I talk to people in the community is, premium is discounted 50%, I think, on PC. You have to buy this through Steam. Premium, I think, is already a really good value, but if you are so inclined to try and get a deal, we see a lot of people complaining that they put portals, blizzards, and fog, and I think zombies behind the paywall of premium. And like, on the one hand, yeah, that sucks. But on the other hand, if you're not willing to spend $10 on a game, then the game shouldn't really care about your opinion. So that is kind of how I approach that way of thinking. The ask for premium is quite low. And given that, I think if you care enough about the game, if you're getting your $10 of value, or $5 or whatever it is, as the case may be, it would make a lot of sense to just buy the premium so that SMG gets that little bit of support, and then we can hopefully afford to get all of the other changes that we keep asking for. And you know what? I've been very enthused by just seeing the change in Shikaku, right? They are listening to us. I'm very grateful. And let's keep that ball rolling. They improved the ranking system, right? So I'm going to approach this from a positive note. All right. What else did I want to talk about? The situation with collusion is still as it was, right? We're getting a lot of complaints about collusion. I would love to see any two ranked accounts being prevented from playing each other over a certain period of time. Force those who would use collaboration to make new accounts every time, if at all. Maddie team. Hey, Pete, I was placing first and second in 80% of the pro games 3 months ago, and now there are way less bad players. Thanks, I guess. Yeah, I ruined it for myself too, for what it's worth. I've been very vexed on the types of shows that I can create, because playing World on Prog now leads to a ton of losses, so you can't really rank up with it consistently, which again is as much a flaw of the way the ranking system incentivizes wins as it is the fact that yours truly has been responsible for teaching a bunch of people how to play progressive. But good news on that front. Apparently, World Dom is still viable for top 10. Our current top 10 looks like... In first place, we have Kuel. Sorry, let me just play my turn. or my non-turn, as the case may be. That closes off the road. Do this. White is playing the same game I'm playing. In first place on the world leaderboard, we have Kuel at 53,991 points, followed by Rube Boone 28. This is Muhammad at 5566. Lauren on Alador on Twitch, 50,459. Lucy's in fourth place. Lucy is one of the devs and the head of the Risk Discord at 50,266. Fifth place, General the Bear 15067. Wolf Scorchio 29, also known as the man, the myth, the legend, Zeraki at sixth place. Nelly Takeuchi at 7. Virgil Waldu at 8th place. Adrian Gonzalez 34 at 9th. And General Shimizu 8931 at 10th, rank 10 in the world. I'm currently sitting just outside of the top 100 playing Progressive Capitals on EU Advanced, as you all well know. That was the KPS Christmas show. I did, I edited 15 hours of broadcasts together and just broadcasted on to something you can have on the background. We put some tunes on, and I got the experience of watching my own show and trolling my own chat, which was a fun one for me, right? You guys can imagine I don't actually get to not checking the 1v1 leaderboard. No, the 1v1 leaderboard isn't a real leaderboard in my opinion. It's this kind of weird side thing that has been treated as if it was real Risk for a very, very long time. And if less than 10% of the population plays a certain type of setting, I don't think we should pay all that much attention to it. And Kuel, by the way, is also ranked number 1 in 1v1. So stellar performance by Kuel across the board. And I'm sure we will see many future tournament finishes by you as well, sir. I predict a illustrious future of winning games of Risk for our friend Kuel Finn. All right, what was the last thing I wanted to get into? Oh, the last thing I wanted to get into was this hilarious Reddit post. So there was a post on Reddit. What do y'all think of the Kill Pete strategy? And there is, you've heard the saying, there is no such thing as bad publicity. So I don't think I opened Yellow's cap there. So I was happy to let this one simmer and just read some of the responses. I don't think everyone probably knows that I am a moderator now on the subreddit. And this is actually where I came into the Risk community initially. There was a post Sterling made on the subreddit that invited people to the Risk Discord tournament that my first tournament I competed in, that I placed second. The top outvoted comment is, him and Kilton are the ones I watch regularly. Pete does a great job of explaining his thought processes for the moves he makes. I also enjoy non-risk related discussions because it makes videos more interesting, IMO. He's had a humongous impact on the game, bringing a ton of new players and raising the overall skill level of players. I gotta say, folks, reading those words really warms the soul. Like, I never had any expectation of success. I never had any inkling or plan. This is all very accidental, but being known as and being treated as a person who has had an impact on the game of Risk, that is nothing short of an honor and a blessing. And I thank you all so much for watching the show, for giving me the good vibes, for the support, and all of that, really. I think you guys make this what it is. People on a daily basis telling me, keep going. You know, you keep making them, I'll keep watching them, sort of thing. It means a lot to me, guys, probably more than you know. And I do say that from time to time, but I just want to reiterate how grateful I am, because you can say it with words, and there's no real way for me to show it other than trying to produce the best Risk television I can for you guys. So that's kind of my current focus, right? I just pay all of my attention to how can I make an interesting show? How can I make a show that is somewhat fun, somewhat educational? And so far we seem to be meeting with at least the minimum amount of success in that regard. So I'm going to keep going. And if I have more time to spend on this project, then I will. The other comment from this thread I wanted to touch on, which is hilarious, is the folks who misunderstand the push-up redeem or the philosophical conversations I have. First of all, I have a Q&A show because I get almost infinite questions. I can't answer all my questions on Discord. I can't answer all my questions on Twitch chat. I can't answer all my questions on YouTube comments. So the solution we've come up with is you throw them in the Kill Pete Strategy Q&A. I'll get to them when I get to them. I wish I had more time to dedicate to this, but obviously I think about things and I'm going to have an opinion. I don't pretend that this opinion is correct, right? I'm an idiot trying to figure out the world just like you are. And one day at a time, we slowly and surely get it wrong as often as we get it right. And that is a blessing because getting it wrong is the chance to learn. So, with all that said, if you had the empathy for a person who was asked on a daily basis from hundreds of people, please keep going, please keep making this work, but also needed to do channel point redeems and needed to take care of himself, I see those as a win-win. And that's what I always go for, right? I'm trying to think about the process of the person who is doing this work for you guys. And in that way, I have to take care of my physical form, right? As I always like to say, a strong mind wastes away in a weak body. We have to keep the idea that the things are separate and discrete, that we are somehow these individuated commodities. That is mostly a fiction. We're getting a large advantage with no wars happening. Well, there is one war happening. That's all good. This game will continue. It looks like White and I are playing the same game, so we will end up in the top two. But it will afford me a lot of time to get through a lot of Q&A questions. And just the last point about the physical redeems. It's very interesting to me. I have a lot of empathy for the type of person who would look at another person doing push-ups with disinterest, right? It says a lot about that person's psychology, and I empathize with that because I was that man once. So, all that to say, we are all dying slowly, and that's not necessarily a negative, right? Get the most out of your time. Seize the day. Become the person you know you can be, deserve you can be. Gando says he's seen the White player before. Martha Rugru 11. Are they good? They're playing as well as I am. So, have you been getting negativity? The push-ups are lifting, or just misunderstanding? That's unfortunate. No, I've been getting negativity. Like, people misunderstand it in the sense that it's like, oh, look at this showy asshole, right? He's trying to impress you, right? As opposed to we get a push-up redeem. He's trying to impress you with that, as opposed to I recognize that I am slowly withering and I'm doing my very, very best to delay that process as much as possible. Mallory says, as I've gotten older, I've realized that hating on people takes so much energy. All right, we're going to do some physical redeems. On that note, we might as well. Has Purple botted? We might as well. So yes, I am going to set up a scene for this, but as of right now, we don't have that set up. So I just have this giant box. We can put it off to the side, I think. That's better. Remember, folks, it's all love. You are free to be as lazy and as sedentary and as unhealthy as you'd like to be. I'm just trying to take care of myself, and obviously that would engender negativity and misunderstanding from folks who have not come to this realization themselves. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and show that you love yourself with your action. That makes it real. Oh. You've inspired me to try and keep myself fitter and more active, so thank you for that. As you say, it's just sitting playing a computer game at its basics. That's right. Mallory says, I'm deathly allergic to exercise, or it would kill me from sneezes. Crackle says, the workouts make my dingle tingle. Whatever works for you guys. Red has quit. All right, Red has called it a day. We see our first surrender. Who gets that 20 cap? Was there a learning curve with regard to haters when you just first blew up? No. So, I've been self-employed my entire life. I've had hundreds of clients, and my systematizing, the clients, no news was good news, right? So silence was golden. So I basically had to insulate myself from all of these people who have been trying to have conversations with me that I'm not getting paid any extra for, right? People are only upset, so I'm only inside of a source of negativity, essentially. So what I have done was, in my professional life, I've iterated to a point where I don't answer my phone. I don't even return voicemails. And I say on my voicemail not to leave one, just email me for a number of reasons. I don't like the interruption, and I also don't think that I want to be trusted to remember what I said. So this way, with email, you have a written record of exactly what was said. How does this translate? Well, the haters on YouTube comments are typically known for being a bit of a cesspool. If you look at my YouTube comments, the vast majority are positive. I prune the haters, as it were, based on, as I said, right? You got to think that guy making a TV show, negativity is abundant. So one of the things that's going to keep me motivated or demotivated is too much of that. So I have to insulate myself from the negativity. So how do you do it? Anything with a negative tone gets banned immediately. I don't deserve to be treated disrespectfully, and I don't tolerate it. So you get your one shot at me, right? And then you don't get to comment again. So any of that, and then like very, very rarely there's a middle category where the comment will get removed, but the person will still be able to comment again. That's more unlikely. Usually I just say, if your comment is unworthy, then you are unworthy, right? And the misunderstanding there is that you're not standing on my platform to talk to my audience, right? This is what the YouTube comments, you're talking to me. So if you do not deserve to talk to me because you are unworthy, then I will silence you. And that's how I deal with the haters, simply put. They get their one chance to give me a hard time, right? There's a minimum amount of respect required. Looks like yellow's in a really strong spot now. So yellow and purple are going to contest each other, whereas me and white are going to cap stack and probably go first and second. But we'll see. As always, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. All right, moving on to the KPS Discord Q&A. This is your avenue to ask me questions and get them answered, folks. We do a priority Q&A for the boosters of the Discord server. We got partner on Discord, so I'm now a Twitch partner, YouTube partner, and Discord partner. How cool is that? And the last question we haven't gotten to is from Bagel. Do you like cooking? If so, what is your favorite thing to cook? I don't love cooking. I tolerate cooking. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so what I like to do is I like to do the same thing over and over and over again, iterate it to as close to perfect as I possibly can. So steak and eggs? Yeah, I like steak. I like eggs. I can do both of those pretty well. The easy stuff, though, right? Purple in a very strong lead now. 128. I'm in an okay spot, 93 on cap. Purple looks like they're setting themselves up to take the red cap. They have a lot of troops off cap is the problem. Anyone hits these stacks, that weakens purple, but similar sitch with yellow. Maybe green is fed up from their situation. Nope, green's going to sit in cap stack as well. So we have 3 players in the cap stack strat, 2 players on the bonus strat, and 1 has already quit. Hey, Marin. Hey, Marin, are you still in chat? I don't get your question. Marin says, what risk mind do you take the most out of and why? What does that mean? What risk mind do you take the most out of? Why? We'll need confirmation on this question before we can answer it. I don't fully understand what he's saying. And Bagel would also like to know, what is my chess elo? I don't have a chess elo, so I like horde chess. I'm not very good at chess, right? I'm not smart enough, so that's my honest answer. Much more of a risk grandmaster than a chess grandmaster. What do we do here? Whole lot of nothing by the looks of things. All right, we'll get clarification from that question from Marin, and then we'll figure out what he means. Does anyone know what do you think he's talking about? What risk mind do you take the most out of, and why? I don't know. All right. Our regular Q&A questions. Oh, we lose 33 troops. Look at that. Look at that cap hit. Brutal cap hit. Let's see if white takes the opportunity to steal it. Wouldn't be a terrible play to roll through 22 of purple. He's asking, which risk player do you emulate the most and learn from? I don't think so. Who gives you the most inspiration, good ideas? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay. The last question was, we were speaking about religion and spirituality. What does your spiritual philosophical path look like, and what have I studied? I love comparative religion. I love the idea of these systems that initially evolved just as like a base ethic and then got all convoluted. and essentially ruined by human corruption. And this is why I kind of conclude that there isn't really a system that I emulate so much as I try to think for myself, make up my own ideas. Hit it. Hit it for the 3 cards. He's not hitting it. He doesn't want those 3 cards yet. I would take that 8 cap, I think, if I was yellow. Right, my whole I do believe that there is something out there that is beyond my ability to explain and a greater power, as it were. But I don't waste too much time worrying about what other people think about that, right? I try to have my own personal relationship with God, as it were. Okay, yellow's begging for someone to smash him. They will. Yeah, inevitably, they will. I'm just chilling on my capital for now. Looks like green botted or is botting. Feels good about that. All right, Stump would like to know, how do you decide which games to post to YouTube? Almost all of the games that I intend on posting to YouTube when I shoot them make it to YouTube. I show my wins, I show my losses. As you guys well know, I don't roll on, whoa, that's a big hit. All right, we finally see purple go aggressive to yellow. Good. This is good. This is the kind of war that me and white are hoping for. The type of stuff that doesn't make it to YouTube would be when I try to fire a community game and inevitably get teamed on, which is a big part of why I no longer really shoot community games, because I just get suicided into and teamed on. We don't really learn anything from that other than that you getting teamed on makes you lose the game. And what other things wouldn't make it to YouTube? If I just die super, super early, get super unlucky for some reason. Yeah, so when I think about a game I'm going to post on YouTube, I think about the type of show I want to make. I don't want to make the same show. So green takes the second cap. All right, we see green make a move. So me and white are sticking with our cap stack strat, and the other 3 players, he's going to move some of that 70 troops into the 10 cap. Do we see a split? No, just the 5? All right, 14 cap in the bottom of Argentina. Interesting. So I think about, I'm going to make a show. What kind of show do I want to make? I want to do some progressive world dom. I do once a week fixed. I like to show my rank grind, but I can't do too much of that now because I'm really playing only the exact same thing, which is super boring television. Yeah, so part of my thinking is, how do I make sure the show is as interesting as possible? White can't resist. White has to get involved too. Perfect. This is exactly what I want. I am now in the lead. No, yellow still has a lead. Okay, yellow has a slight lead on me in terms of troops, but I have all my troops on cap. They're trying to guard in North America. This is good. White goes aggressive to green, so everyone has hit each other except for me. I'm everybody's best friend in this game. Love it. Love it. All right. Our next question comes from Nilsson. Would like to know, hey, Pete, many inquiries tend to disguise themselves as black or white, but the closer you get to the truth, the more they start to resemble some shade of gray, until they reach a level of complexity where you can no longer distinguish the nuances anymore, and you often find yourself somewhat alone in the gray wasteland of in-between. How do you find the strength to not lose yourself in the void? Edit. Here's an example. The debate of nature versus nurture. We are obviously the product of both. Nature loads the gun and environment pulls the trigger. Or any other debate that is polarized, which is everything. The path to metal is lonely, even though it is in the middle of it all. Best regards, Daniel. Okay, Daniel, here is how I approach this question. Even though we end up often in shades of gray, there is always an essence. So yes, the world can be complicated, and I think human beings overcomplicate things most of the time. We think we're smarter than we are. We think we're more important than we are. That's ego. What I like to do is I reject the concept of oversimplification. What I like to do is simplify. That goes into Africa. No, he's just guarding strong now. Guarding strong with troops off cap. I love it. I like to simplify with the goal of focusing on essence. And yes, sometimes corner cases are lost in that exchange. Whoa! That didn't make any sense. White ran out of patience too. Great. I love this game. I love it. Just chilling. Just chilling, letting these guys hit each other. So I guess what does essence mean? Let's use the example you chose, the nature versus nurture debate. Okay. So how much do things matter in the creation of the man? Some percentage nature, some percentage nurture, for sure. We have come to understand that our personalities tend to be genetically comprised. So, interesting. Fight, 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 fight. So if your ability to think, if your intelligence is genetic, if your height, your phenotype, right? So there's genotype, what your genetic code is. Your phenotype is the expression of those genes. So I am built to be a 6 foot tall, half Jewish white guy with green eyes, and a reasonably intelligent mind, but not super, and X, Y, and Z traits. And then I'm also built to have an inclination to melancholy. Some would call it depression, right? And all of these, and my personality is, I'm high creativity and also extremely orderly, which is a very liberal and a very conservative person in the same person. So I never fit into any boxes. I never really identify with any groups. I like to think for myself. And then here's the nurture. And then I grew up in an environment where both of my parents encouraged me to be as skeptical as possible and make up my own mind about everything. So this is what you get from that. And some amount of it is nature, some amount of it is nurture. Most of it is nature. And even the nurture part, like I grew up with my parents who raised me. So it's all a continuum. But like we can focus on these false dichotomies, like left versus right, black versus white, up versus down, right? And we can only pay some amount of attention to what matters about those dichotomies, and that's the point. What matters, what seems to matter, as far as I can tell, is people fighting amongst themselves, jockeying for position to tell themselves a story where they're the hero. I will assure you that I'm neither the hero nor the villain, right? I am just a man, right? Sometimes stupid, sometimes wrong, throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. Just like you, right, guys? We need the humility to realize that we're not important or special. And we're just apes making our way in this world. I'm a 200-pound animal that lives in a house and plays video games, apparently, on the internet. Great, great, great question. Okay. Liztard would like to know, what type of lizard is that? Hey, Pete! Not sure if you've talked about this before, but what do you think about a true alliance mode, 2v2v2 or 3v3, etc.? Not like the current modes where it's usually to give more communication and gain vision and fog. Also, I'm new to Risk, but an avid watcher. If this is already a thing, please forgive. Art. Big fan. All right, Liztard. The Current situation with Team Risk is it's entirely community run. We have been asking, pleading, and begging for SMD to include it. And when and if they do, that would be lovely. But I'm not going to hold my breath. We can coordinate our efforts to upvoting a certain risk idea every week. It's actually part of what I want to do with this show. Part of the reason I'm doing a weekly news program. Oh, you better believe I'm going to take Asia. Part of what I'm doing with a weekly news program is I want to have the opportunity to consolidate the voice of the community in one place. I'm not interested in my voice being loud. I'm interested in my voice being an aggregate for what we want. And if what we want is to upvote a certain idea, like, hey, let's get 2v2v2 or 3v3 or 2v2 risk hard-coded into the game as a mode, which would be awesome and super fun, wouldn't it? We could get that. Let's work together and make it happen, right? Okay, next question is from Lil Banana Juice. I don't see Lil Banana in the chat today. So you're going to miss your own question, but hopefully you catch it on YouTube. What are you most grateful for in your life? There's an obvious answer to that question. I'm most grateful for family. I love my family. And you know what? I extend friends to that too. They're friends or family you choose, right? So I put a lot of effort into my human relationships. I try to show my love to my family when I can, and I am beyond grateful for the love and the support they have given me over the years. So it's an easy answer, and I think a lot of people would agree. It's an easy answer. I'm most grateful for family. Mayor Sean would like to know, Pete, you've been consistently 7 times larger than the next largest risk streamer. That's not true. Considering your desire to grow the community, how do you feel about the competitive dog-eat-dog nature of streaming at the same time as others? That's not true at all. When I came around, both parts of this question are false. The first part is false because when I came around, Champ was huge, comparatively, and all I did was make a risk video every day, right? I had no intention of being the largest. I still don't really care and look at the analytics like other people who would be making this content intentionally do. My focus is product focused, right? How do I make the best show I can make? So today's ideas, I'm going to play a very, very low impact mentally game while I have the opportunity to use my mind to answer questions and consolidate the news program. Considering my desire to grow the community, how do I feel about the competitive dog-eat-dog nature of streaming at the same time as others? I don't think about that as such. I see it much more as win-win. I see it much more as a rising tide raises all ships. I am actively trying to encourage other people to stream risk, to grow the community with me. I can't do it alone, right? We need people running tournaments. We need people running Discords. We need people on Twitch broadcasting this game to more people. It's such a beautiful thing that more people are doing it now. I see that as a success for me, not a subtraction, right? This is what I've been working on building. I have my set hours on Twitch. I try and meet them. Other people can stream on those hours if they want or not. Sometimes I go off hours, right? But I don't see any other Twitch streamers or YouTubers as my competition. That's kind of the exact opposite of the way I see it, right? I'm always open to answer questions to try and help people grow their show. Like Mallory's in chat. If you don't know Poorly Played Risk on YouTube or Twitch, go check her out. She says, my YouTube isn't as successful without Pete's success. He's not a threat to any of us. He's helping all of us. Yeah, and I want to too. I want you to have fun with it. I want you to grow your community the way you want to, the way you find it fun to. I see win-win. Make love, not war. Well, that's what I'm all about, right? This message, if I had one message to spread, it's all love. So, just so you all know, not here to take anything away from anybody. I'm just here to add. Except in game. I'm not even making war in game. These folks are all fighting amongst themselves. I'm just chilling. Taking card. So yeah, short answer, Mayor Sean. I don't agree with either of your premises as true, and I just see it completely differently. Our next question is from Marco O.D. Stipp. Hello there, keeper of Reginald. Here's a psychological question for you. I love it. How do you tell the difference when a person is being egotistical as opposed to self-respect? I did a whole show on this. The question was, what is the difference between confidence and arrogance? If you go check out that show on YouTube, there's a great conversation in the comments about the way different people approach that topic. I personally always find myself leaning towards arrogance. And I did more when I was a younger man. Confidence, true confidence and self-love might appear as arrogance to those who are less confident, but I am not entirely concerned with how I appear, which is actually quite resonant to people as far as I can tell, right? Part of the reason I get a lot of commentary saying, "Oh, Pete, I love your show. You're a very authentic person. It's nice to see someone like that," is you can tell there's no artifice. You can tell I'm not trying to build a show. I'm not trying to focus. I need more numbers on YouTube, right? All I want is I want to make, this is an artistic creation for me. The fact that it's successful is secondary. It's a great blessing. But I'm trying to make the best creation I can make. I'm trying to be the best player I can be. I'm trying to learn in this game. I'm trying to grow. We just lost green. We're now in a 4-player game. So the initial concept for the Kill Pete Strategy Show was, how do I show the path of a regular entry-level grandmaster, I love that term, entry-level grandmaster, to one of the best players in the game? How do I become that? How do I walk that path? And then how do I show it? So, because I've done this now, we're in a bit of a philosophical hole as far as what do I do next with the show. I don't think I have much more to prove to you guys as far as learning things in Risk. So maybe we move on to a different game. Maybe we do more of this type of work where I talk to you guys about ideas, and we build a community intentionally. But yeah, all that to say, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. I have a huge ego, and I do my very best to keep it in check, but I'm very cognizant of its presence. So there's always a constant reminder. It's like, you are not the center of the universe. You are a tiny, insignificant grain of sand, just like everybody else. And you really, really, really got to stop taking yourself so seriously. Because it's all sandcastles, right? We all die. We're all on that path to the inevitable. Are you a Yes fan? The band? Yeah, I love Yes. Okay, our next question. Oh yeah, and then I linked the when is confidence arrogance question video in the thread. Our next question is from Bold Star. Bold Starfish would like to know. So, I'm sure you've already talked about this, but I would like to ask it once more. You guys can re-ask questions. I don't care. I love shooting the shit with you guys. Do you believe that humans are special in the sense that we are better than other animals? No. Many religions state that humans were created to be better than animals, but that could be part of our nature to think that we are as a species and are special and have been for all time. Yeah, of course. it would make a ton of sense for a thinking animal to think they're special. That would be built into our psychology, right? It's part of your self-preservation instinct. You have to care about yourself. You think you're super special. And it would make sense why religions would codify that, right? You are built in the image of God, therefore... It's going to break North America? Oh, man. I love it. You are built in the image of God, therefore, right, you are sacred in some way that the mosquitoes and the ferns and the birds and the snakes are not. You are an animal. I am an animal. And might makes right, unfortunately, in this world, right? We have this lovely high-minded conversation about human rights. And as I've often said, you have the right to starve. Unfortunately, Yellow's not happy. I think human rights are mostly a lie. We don't really see them instantiated in the world. Yeah, they are a optimistic, aspirational goal, but I would love to live in a world where, as an example, every single human being would see the idea that any other would go without food and shelter as completely unacceptable. Categorically unacceptable. And we just don't. We just don't live in that world yet. Maybe one day we will. So that would make us special, right? If we showed love and compassion, not just for we don't even show love and compassion for ourselves, right? We hate our own selves, let alone our other fellow humans, let alone, right, consuming animals on this planet at such a rate that would be shocking, right? We are currently consuming much of the life in this world. And I shudder to think what the next 100 years looks like before we maybe figure it out. Yellow's going to be confined to Australia. This game is heating up now. I now have 179 troops. The bot is in second place at 105. Everyone else is at under 100, which is perfect, right? Just sitting and chilling. Exactly what you would have expected. I try not to tell myself a story, Bold Star. I try to focus on what is, right? What is the essence of reality? What really exists? What is the truth? Whatever word you want to use. But the focus I try to pay is, if this is the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, right? You could talk about, I deserve to win that risk game, but I got unlucky. That's fucking bullshit every single time. You deserve shit. You deserve exactly what you got. You lost, right? Or you won. You don't deserve a win. You don't deserve a loss. You deserve neither. The only thing that proves the deserving of any outcome is the outcome, right? So I'm an animal. I get to enjoy this brief gift of life, and then I die, and that is that. So I better make the most of it before it's too late. And that is the core source of my motivation as a man. All right, we're knocking Yellow out of the pocket finally. This might provoke a suicide, and that would be awesome to see. It does. It does provoke a suicide. Excellent. Really good. Got a lot of troops now. Does White go for Yellow? He does! Okay. This game could be ending soon. It's the cap. Loses. White loses the game. Sweet. All right, kill white. Kill yellow. Force purple to hit me. He wants to break me. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm in a 1v1 with purple, and I have twice his troops and fixed capitals. I think I win. I win this game. A lot of troops locked, so I got to activate this 79 stack, but I don't think purple knows what to do about this at all. Well, you can stake that claim. Good work is the key to good fortune. Winners take that praise, losers seldom take that blame. Great song. Quote and roll the bones. I love it. It's not an oft underrated Rush track. Hey, thank you, Raymond Hin Unge, with the sub, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Pete, thank you for rekindling my love for Risk. I started watching your videos, gone up to Master. Keep up the good work. Cheers, man. So glad you enjoy the show. A good game. Not much you can do about that, sir. Yeah, use your capital army to hit stacks. Perfect. Oh, he goes off cap? Cheers. And I get it. Oh, I have to kill green too. All right. Purple should already know that he gets second because green has gone MIA. Guess we get the World Dom victory. Oh, it's okay, because it's MIA. Because he didn't start as a bot. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to throw on a KPS video. White was a Grandmaster. throw on a KPS video and we'll do a little bit more Q&A before we end. Defeating 3 intermediates, 1 expert, and 1 grand master. Not too shabby. 28k FFA on my alt. Lovely, lovely. Dude, I've paid 1,100 games on my alt again. It's so dumb. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me find a game that we can watch a little bit of as we finish the Q&A. Here, we'll do a classic fixed video. Whoop. A little bigger Pete to block out the other Pete. The large Pete. Large. Stream. Huge. All right. We're going to go quickly get another cup of coffee. And I will be right. Of investing in, you know, your social connections, your friends and family, art, education, science, technology, all that good stuff, right? That's basically where I'm coming from. All right. So, yes, it is Bird Blitz from English. Faded Lion 33, thank you for the prime sub. Thank you, thank you. Looks like white takes Africa. I'm in a tough spot in SA. The Europe play might be better. Orange would also like Africa. And then quit. What the fuck? Angry Pete. Angry. Okay. Okay. All right. Where were we? Where were we indeed? All right, we're going on to the Miner's Code would like to know if you were to play 100 solo games versus 5 expert AIs on randomly selected maps, how many do you think you would win? Fucking. I want to see the game. How many do you think I would win? A lot. I wouldn't win 100. You'd still get on. I probably win 95 plus. I don't think I'd win all games. I think there would be there would be a time where I would get unlucky, right? Oh, did I fuck up the audio from that bit? Damn it. Damn it, damn it. Okay. Expert AIs suck. So that would actually be a fun challenge. I don't know if I could have the patience to put through an entire video, but play 100 games against the bot, see how many. Also, 5 expert AIs would be harder than 1 or 2. So that is a thing. Okay. Our next question from Tankilla 44. Do you think the war in Ukraine will lead to World War III? If so, how do we avoid it? No, absolutely not. I think currently wars are it's going to sound a bit cynical. I think wars are mostly a distraction. And it's certainly not a distraction for the folks suffering in Ukraine. Okay, so I'm not here to minimize anyone's suffering with that. But the big picture geopolitical impact of any war currently is all of these powerful nation states jockeying for position are subordinated by their rich people, right? By their oligarchs. And we use the term oligarchs for Russians in a way that we don't use it for Americans or Westerners, but the term applies, right? Bill Gates and Elon Musk and the Koch brothers and XYZ billionaire are our oligarchs. They write the laws that advantage them and keep them in power. That is the status quo. If you think you are free, if you think you live in a democracy, you are kidding yourself. So no, nothing will lead to World War III because the world is already bought and sold, and those who are truly, truly in power have no interest in destroying everything. That would make no sense, right? This is the death throes of Putin's Russia, trying to maintain hegemony over a piece of land that they are losing the population to maintain hegemony over. And as you can see, right, the Russians can't even win a war against Ukraine. So it's really sad for Ukraine. It's really sad for Russia. It's really sad for all of the people who may starve this winter because the farmers weren't sowing their fields with wheat in Ukraine, but rather they were fighting a stupid war. I think we absolutely no longer should be building a single gun to shoot ourselves, right? We need to stop doing that yesterday. We need to work together, realize that we are all one race, all one people, all one world, and we can come to some sort of understanding and agreement about where we're going, what we all want mutually. All right, next question. What are your thoughts on digital currency? This is from Marin. What are your thoughts on digital currency such as Bitcoin? My thoughts are that they seem to be a chain of greater fools problem. So there was a time where I was willing to put about $10,000 into digital currency, and I'm no longer willing to do that. I think that ship has sailed. Some people made a ton of money by letting the other folks hold the bag. I think this idea of currency is fictional enough that I don't understand it. And when I don't understand it, I'm not willing to take the risk. Now, that's not to say that folks who do understand it don't stand to make a ton of money. I just don't believe in my own capability to understand it. So given that, I place safer bets that are less volatile, but tend to pay off for me long term, right? Rather than investing in numbers on a spreadsheet or in a blockchain, right? I believe in investing in stocks. I believe in investing in real estate. I like collectibles, but the idea of digital collectibles, I find a bridge too far to gap. So I wouldn't put a cent into digital currency right now unless I had someone who was knowledgeable explain to me that they had an edge, and here's the edge, here's what you stand to gain. And if that was true, then I would put a lot into it, right? Because I tend to trust people who have expertise in a topic rather than trust myself to pretend like I do, right? I don't need to act as if I know what I'm talking about if I don't. I don't know what I'm talking about with Bitcoin, so I'm not willing to risk my money on it. That's my short answer. Hunter 4525 would like to know, adding to the above question, what about much, much lesser crypto? Any merit? Yeah, I think if you like gambling, which I don't, I like winning. If you like gambling, then you would see the high risk, high reward coins as appealing, right? I don't find risk, get it? I don't find risk in this regard exciting. I like to win. I don't like to gamble. Okay, next question. Do you believe, this is from Pixie, do you believe we have a purpose? Not quite predeterminism, but more like there exists a certain path in life that is more efficient based on the skills you have naturally and ones you've acquired growing up. To define most efficient here, I'll say that whatever has the largest net positive on the people around you. Follow up, do you think there exists a sort of spirit, entity, God many call it, that may guide you on this path if you maintain a healthy alliance with them? All right, Pixie, so I am a full determinist. I believe we are all predestined to do everything we do and think everything we think. I think all of the atoms and molecules that got into motion from the beginning of time at the Big Bang have been moving according to the laws of physics. And since we understand that the energy in your brain is electrical and that energy and matter are the same substance, same physical substance, then all of your thoughts, think of it as your brain is a meat computer and you are the algorithm. You are the pattern of energy that is operating on that computer. So that pattern is still governed by the laws of physics. Therefore, all of the matter and all of the energy that has been moving since the beginning of time until now has been moving according to those laws and couldn't possibly have gone any other way. So despite the fact that you feel like you have free will, it only appears that you are free to choose, right? You are not free to choose the thoughts you have. You don't create them. You're not free to choose what you want. You're only free to choose to decide between things that you want and you don't want. That is an illusion of choice. It's an illusion of free will. And we are inevitably programmed to walk on this path. And yes, as I said earlier, I do believe in a spirit that is greater than myself. Many would use the word God. I believe that it is unknowable currently, but not that it is impossible to know. I just don't think we have the ability to measure that yet. That's how I answer it. Down Under Nick, thank you for the Prime sub, man. Thank you so much. If you are a determinist, how do you explain trying to get people to change? Well, we care about things, right? In the current iteration, you can't know what your future is. So you're an animal, right? You're motivated by things you want, what you want. You don't get to decide that you want what you want. You simply want it. So the decision point is deciding between things you want and things you don't want. Like, I don't want to be a fat shit, so I fucking do push-ups, right? I don't want to be poor, so I work, right? But all of that is predetermined because your core motivation behind that is predetermined, as far as I can understand it. And then this is the best criticism of the worldview Shanghai is bringing up. This is the best counter argument that you can come up with. Is what about the uncertainty or randomness, quantum mechanics, right? So adding in the quantum equation undermines the philosophical bedrock of the position that I was talking about. It's called eliminative materialism, right? The eliminative materialist position or fill of mind basically negates the mental substance. They say there is no difference between the mental and the physical substance. There is only matter and energy, which is one substance, right? Einstein talks about this, right? Matter and energy equals mc squared. So energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, which is a simple way of saying that matter and energy are the same thing, and matter is just energy condensed to a much slower vibration. So the best criticism of the eliminative materialist position is what Shanghai is talking about. There is randomness in quantum mechanics, and if you look at things on a deeper and deeper level, they get fuzzy. So they may not behave according to the ideas of Newtonian physics. They may not behave predictably. There are such things as superposition, and then that's also a whole line of uncertainty regarding whether or not things are predetermined. So we don't know for sure, but that is the model of the world that works best for me. I like how determinism sits with me because I'm kind of absolved from worrying about any responsibility for things that are outside of my control, right? A lot of people spend a lot of time worrying about what could have been. And I don't really bear any responsibility to past humans. I don't really bear any responsibility to past Pete, right? Past Pete got me here. And my job today is to be the best version of myself, right? Keep walking the path towards the man I want to be and knowing fully well that I'll never be there. So we just do the best we can, right? Yeah, this is a pre-recorded game of Classic Fixed because I find that I won the last game, right? I find that I do be able to focus my attention. Otherwise, I can't talk about complicated topics like philosophy and quantum physics and play Risk at the same time. Okay, our next question is from Mr. Cuffy. He would like to know, what would you advise a small streamer to do if they want to stream more Risk, but they're terrible at the game, asking for a friend? Being good at the game is not a prerequisite for streaming it. However, my thoughts are that video game television is some combination of, maybe not equal parts, but some combination of entertainment and education. So the extent to which I'm a teacher versus the extent to which I'm an entertainer is some kind of a mix, and it might be different for you. You might focus on just being silly or funny or loud or bombastic, or you might focus on take the other extreme, like Champ's work is, or Phil's work is extremely, or Olive, right, extremely educational. They are also entertaining, but the value of the show for most of the audience is I am learning how to play the game from one of the best people in the world, right? I never put out my show as that, right? I have become pretty good at the game of Risk over the years, but I never sit down and say, here's what I am, here's my gospel that I am preaching, you should listen to me. It's more like throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. We're learning as we go, right? That's why the value proposition of the show is, if you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, because I am interested in getting better at the game of Risk, right? I lose this game now, and we learn something from the loss, right? It's not a sunk cost if you lose a game, but you learn, right? So that's the upside. I think that is all. We'll get one more. If you were a mixed drink, what would you be? Right now it would be rum and eggnog. But I'm a rum drinker, so my favorite mixed drink of all time is like rum and Dr. Pepper, rum and Coke, rum and Diet Coke, that sort of thing. If I was a mixed drink, and it would be a triple. Good one, Sixer. Great question. Okay, so we got one from Ken Newen. Ken Newen would like to know, would changing progressive so that any 3-card set be a good way to change the game mode to be more skill-based and less lucky? No. Removing luck doesn't necessarily increase skill. The better way to think about it is there's a luck axis and a skill axis that games vary on. I think that the game of Risk is like 20% luck. But progressive world dom, right, not having that crucial set on 4 is very much the thing that kills you. Whereas in classic fixed, not being able to negotiate to a position where people don't suicide into you is very much the thing that kills you. So this game I lost because red felt threatened by me and chose to give the game white. With the limited ability to negotiate, you can't really know what your opponents are thinking, but it would be a silly thing for me to say that this outcome was due to bad luck. This outcome was 100% due to something I did wrong, and we hope we learn from it. People have talked about the extent to which the cards matter in Risk, getting rid of the cards entirely. Like if it was just flat like that in progressive, then turn order would matter more. Similarly, the way the cards matter in Risk, if you got rid of the cards, then there would be no impetus to action at all. Risk is already prone to stalemate, and imagine that would go on even. Yeah, getting, I know. Well, people don't know. People, 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? People don't know what they don't. So they like to think and guess like they know what they're talking about. I'm only now coming to understand, after dedicating my life to this for years, what makes sense in terms of game design, what makes sense in terms of ranking system, what incentives players like, what they don't like, and so on. Like White has this one in the bag. I'm going to throw down some push-ups for Rwand at the end of the stream. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me. Go throw some upvotes to that risk idea in Risk Ideas chat. We want to get the slaughter fixed this week. Next week, we'll focus on something else, and I'll also be doing promos for when new tournaments open. So we're going to have our FFA tournament opening soon. The big one, guys, get in there. I would love to see you. I'd love to compete with you. It would be an honor to do so. Okay. I'm going to throw down some push-ups. And then we're going to move into the end of the stream. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all enjoyed this show. I hope you found some of it fun and entertaining, maybe even a little bit educational and informative. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along the ride with me. I have a daily release on YouTube. I'm doing a weekday stream on Twitch for the winter. For all of you on the path to world domination, good games, good luck.